Hey, it's Abby from 4onemore.com. Today I want to give you a peek inside the reading curriculum from Memoria Press. We were able to review their first grade level curriculum, and it's entitled StoryTime Treasures. We got a student guide and then the teacher guide that goes with it. Then we were also given the next section of the curriculum. It has 2 student guides and 2 teacher guides, the green and the blue. That's how you can tell them apart. And there's the teacher guide. So in total, we did get 4 books, 2 student books and 2 teacher books. And I want to give you a peek inside those, let you know how we use them, what we thought of them, and see if it might be a good fit for you. So one of the things I absolutely loved about this curriculum and teaching my first grader and helping her to advance in her reading is that instead of using a vocabulary controlled reader, like what can your kids read based on their phonics instruction by the end of kindergarten, beginning of first grade, sometimes those readers that are created by curriculum companies have really lousy stories. I've seen them before, and unfortunately we've used them before, and the kids usually can see right through it. They know when a story is just not well written, it's kind of fake because they're just trying to use vocabulary words and phonics words that they are supposed to know. I mean, how many times can you read a book about the fat cat on the mat? I mean, soon that gets really boring. And the truth is that kids can read far beyond their level of what they can spell. And I've seen this with my first grader. This is my 5th time homeschooling that transition between kindergarten and first grade when they're picking up phonics and learning to read. And I am truthfully blown away at how well this curriculum handles that transition. So my daughter really loved being able to read real library books, real living books, and get her reading instruction that way. So let me tell you what the titles are in the very first book that you'll get. So in the green copy, the Storytime Treasures, let me tell you the living books that you would use for this curriculum. It starts with Little Bear. What kids don't love Little Bear? And then Frog and Toad are friends. And then Caps for Sale, Make Way for Ducklings. So this first volume that goes with this year-long curriculum, you'll cover 4 living books. So we were able to get through Little Bear, Frog and Toad are friends, and we started Caps for Sale. And that's as far as we got. But we do intend to keep using this throughout first grade because it's wonderful. I love it so much. So I wanted to tell you that this curriculum uses living books. So if you are looking for an authentic, get your kids into really well-written and well-illustrated stories, this might be a great curriculum for you to consider. So we did not finish the curriculum yet. We just started this. We just got into our first couple books. But I wanted to give you a heads up of what's included in the second section, the blue book, what books your kids will be reading for the rest of first grade. So the titles included here are Billy and Blaze, Blaze and the Forest Fire, Keep the Lights Burning Abby, Stone Soup, The Little House, Miss Rumphius, and The Story About Ping. So just in case you're curious about which books are used, those are the books that you would find. And the great thing is most libraries have these kids' books, so you don't necessarily have to purchase them. So the teacher guides do give you a model lesson plan in here, and it's based on about a 4-day school week with day 5 kind of with catch up. And there's a lot of pre-reading activities, which is great because you can work with your kids on sight words and words they might not have encountered yet in their phonics. But remember, they're probably reading far beyond their phonics instruction, and I found that true with my daughter. So this was great because there was pre-reading. We're covering some words she might not have learned about our controlled vowels and things like that yet, but she's encountering them in the book. So it's really pushing her to become a better reader, even though she's not quite there yet with the spelling or with the phonics instruction. So it gives them a great basis for reading this real literature. So it's mapped out for you. It's not, your kids aren't expected to read that book in one sitting, right? So for example, like the Little Bear book, it has about 5 or so stories in it, but you're only working on a little bit at a time. So it's very well broken up. Your kids are not going to be overwhelmed with having to read huge, big books for them, right? They're not going to have to read this book all in one sitting. It's very well planned out. And if you're worried about, how do I teach this? It's totally mapped out for you. So each of the lessons that go with the certain number of pages your kids are reading from the book, so say they read Little Bear and they're reading a certain number of pages, they will flip to their student book and there will be activities in them for them to do. So some of this has to do with pre-reading, learning new vocabulary, writing sentence, like a copy work where they're working on synonyms. And then, of course, what you would expect from reading curriculum, which would be some comprehension questions, which I wasn't sure how my daughter would do because she's not done that kind of schoolwork yet of just she's only been through kindergarten. So this is kind of new. She did quite well, and it was really good for her to practice her writing. She's getting better with that. Then what kind of surprised me, I didn't know to expect this, but there's even like an introductory grammar lesson every, certain number of pages. So she's learning verbs and nouns and things like that. And I actually didn't know that this material covered that. So that was really kind of neat. So, as she's reading these really fun stories, she's also able to learn those introductory grammar skills. And then there's enrichment activities, drawing pictures, and kind of imaginative things like Little Bear did this, fun adventure, draw a picture of where you would go or that kind of thing. So it's a very well written, easy to follow. My daughter absolutely loved it, and I'll show you a few pictures here, a little sneak peek of some of the work we did. So the amount of work each day that your child is expected to do is really, it's really manageable. So I was looking through both of the student books, and there's about 3 to 5 pages that go with each lesson. And that is, like I said, it's scripted out for you. There's a lot of pre-reading instructions so that your kids are ready to dive in and read the section, and they're not getting tripped up by those vocabulary words that they might not know yet. And what I really love about certain curriculum that really, makes an impact on me, which this has, is that it is super easy to implement. Like, don't give me a curriculum where I have this binder, this teacher guide that I have to read through lesson plans, and it's just so complicated because I have 5 kids and I can't be reading through teacher manuals for every kid in every subject. It has to be open and go. This curriculum is open and go. So it gets my seal of approval and my high recommendation. If I could do over kindergarten and first grade with my other kids, I probably would use this curriculum. And I'm not just saying that. I really do love it. And I just didn't have experience with it. I didn't know about it, and I used something else. And so I'm glad that my 5th child, that she's able to use this, because I think it's really helped make her a stronger reader, because instead of being pulled back with those really simplified, graded vocabulary controlled readers, she is really just pushed off. And she was like, hey, why can't I keep reading this book? She didn't want me to say, stop at page 21. Like, she wanted to read. And so guess what happened? Little Bear was the first book that was required, and we read it. Well, as soon as she read that and did all the pages, she was like, are there more books? So of course there are more Little Bear books. So I went on the library website and I got them all. She read them all. So it's really encouraged her because she's reading interesting stories, right? And we know what those graded readers that come with some curriculum can be like. They can be really boring. And that's part of what I hated about reading instruction early on in my homeschooling years. So if you're looking for a curriculum that uses living books, that is easy for you as the homeschool mom, it's a great foundation for your kids, then I would definitely recommend checking out Memoria Press. And once again, this is StoryTime Treasures and more StoryTime Treasures. This is for the first grade level, but the Homeschool Review Crew has looked at and reviewed all their levels. So I will put links below. Go check out Memoria Press and their website, check out this product, and check out more reviews from the Homeschool Review Crew. And in the meantime, happy homeschooling.